definitely hit our report card really quick on how we did a week ago and in these past 2 weeks. What you got, Dave?
Couple solid pickups here. Sid told you Taysom Hill. He put up 25.66 after throwing 4 interceptions. It was a solid game. Let's see. Chuba was on a bye. Madison gave you 21.4 in the absence of Dalvin Cook, and that was Sid's number 1 running back for you. Jamal Williams actually was kind of a letdown with 9 points. Mm-hmm. Sid and I both had Van Jefferson at 16.1. Kadarius Toney put up 11. So, I mean, when you're desperate, double digits is always a good thing. Logan Thomas and Tyler Conklin both gave you double digits, not with Logan Thomas getting hurt. The Buffalo running back intrigue that I was watching closely last week was an absolute bust in a game that you should have been able to run the ball. A game that nobody in their right mind doesn't run the ball. Singletary puts up 3.6, Breda puts up 1.1, and Moss, after being a healthy scratch the week before, leads all running backs with 5.3. They basically all didn't even combine for a single solid player.
Right.
However, Jimmy G was my quarterback for you going through the rest of the year and into the playoffs. 15.96, solid performance against the Seahawks. They're gonna run the ball. But I do think that Jimmy G gets his points. Dalton was on Derek Carr and Deshaun Jackson. I was on Deshaun Jackson. I was very I dug a little deeper for Deshaun Jackson and Traquan Smith. Deshaun Jackson put up a 2.4. Derek Carr put up a 12.36. Those two did not get it going the way that we were hoping they would be able to against that Washington defense. And Traquan Smith, I just picked the wrong one. I told you the Dallas defense gives up big plays. Humphreys and Deontay Harris both had huge plays. Both, I think it was Harris was almost at 20 points. I knew somebody was going to go off in that offense because we give up big plays. And both of them did. I happened to pick the one that wasn't going to. So there you have it for last week.
Hey, so at the end of that, David, you started to trail off. You might need to pick your phone up, but
yeah, something happened with the audio. And real quick, I'm gonna bring in Bobby. What up, Bobby? But go ahead, Sid. What you got, man?
All right, so quarterback. I mean, it's hard because we're in week 14, so everybody knows the quarterbacks. So I'm just riding. He was still available in a few leagues. So Taysom Hill. If you need a quarterback, again, he's going to get it done with his legs. Yep. He's going to be fantasy relevant. For running backs, that was the only quarterback I got because it's hard out here. Most people that are going to be good, we've already talked about, or they're already picked up. Running backs, I'm going to re-hit Hubbard since he was on that bye last week. He should be the guy there, so he is still on my list because he didn't play last week. So got Chuba Hubbard. We talked about Sony Michel earlier. If Darrell Henderson still stays out, Sony Michel definitely shows that he is the first-round pick that the Patriots took. He can handle that load and produce for sure for them. So I like Sony Michel again if he's available. Now there's two that you just need to keep an eye on if their guy in front of them is hurt. So JaMychal Hastie for the Niners because Elijah Mitchell had concussion symptoms at the end of the game or something like that. So if he doesn't go, Hastie is the only running back because their other running back, Jeff Wilson, has got hurt, and then they're it's like sixth running back at this point. He was the guy that got the concussion on the opening kickoff. So Hastie is the only guy now. So if Elijah Mitchell does not go, JaMychal Hastie is definitely somebody you want to have on the roster because they run the ball like no other. Then the other one is Samaje Perine because Joe Mixon currently has a neck injury. And if Joe Mixon is out, Samaje Perine. And look, you got to go and look for Perine because right now he's only projected like 4 or 5 points because they don't have him as the starter yet. So he might not be on that If you go and look at your fantasy, he's never going to be the top guy because of how much he's projected for. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead and write that one down.
I'm actually going to look right now. Hey, look, I need a W in one league. You know what I'm going to go deal with. Come on.
But just keep in mind, if Mixon plays, he's not going to be worth it because Mixon is the guy. But if he doesn't play, P. Ryan is definitely somebody you want to have on your roster to start. And then for receivers, I got Russell Gage for the Falcons. I actually picked him up last week, but I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure about him. And then he had a good game, so I'll call him out this week. I did start him in a league, so last week, thankfully. But yeah, Russell Gage. With nobody else there, Kyle Pitts is the only guy. If everybody tries to cover Pitts, Russell Gage should have a good game. Jalen Guyton for the Chargers. With Keenan Allen being on COVID, he should be the next man up there. He should be a good guy. And then I had KJ Osborne as well. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember why I wrote him down. Sorry.
Because Thielen's out.
There you go. That's why. Yep. KJ Osborne because Thielen is hurt.
He's also on my list, and they're facing Pittsburgh. Now, I was actually going to ask you, Sid, what condition you think your defense is going to be in for that pick.
Well, so Joe Hayden's still out. He hasn't practiced yesterday or today. He's our number one guy. So with Joe Hayden out, that means, our number 2 corner will be on Justin Jefferson. Not that we're going to be able to stop him, but that means our number 3 corner will be on KJ Osborne. So he should have a favorable matchup as long as they can stop the MVP, TJ Watt. And Kirk Cousins
tell it like it is.
But it's not a bad matchup. Our defense has definitely given up some points to receivers. So, and we're going to be. We just went all out for that Ravens game, so I'm nervous. Our defense balled out, but they could definitely get exposed a little if they aren't up for the task this week going forward. So KJ Osborne for sure, and that also plays into my tight end because tight ends are super hard to come by now. But I got Tyler Conklin. I think I've said him like 3 weeks in a row, but he's still available in some leagues. That's the only reason I keep bringing him up. So if you need one, he should be able to good. And then the other one is Ricky Seals-Jones with Logan Thomas coming out. He's still hurt technically, Ricky Seals-Jones, but he's projected points this week, so I think he might be coming back. You might know more than that, Sean, but if he does play, he's somebody that you can definitely look to pick up as a tight end.
Right.
And that's everybody I got.
I like that.
As always, pretty. I had the most of the same guys. I go second, so I got to go a little deeper. I do like Hilliard over in Tennessee. Obviously, he's going to split carries with Dr. Foreman, but Hilliard is the pass catcher. And they've got Jacksonville this week. Just a little. Jermichael Hastie is owned in 0.5% of leagues. I really like that pickup. Just because Sid went through it. They've got a couple concussions out there. They've got a knee injury. It could be a real sneaky and easy second, maybe third waiver pickup this week. He's available everywhere. I definitely like the KJ Osborne. He's available in he's owned in 4.2% of leagues. Russell Gage was a little harder at 25.2, but first we try, then we trust. He had a great week last week, and I think they'll be able to continue that. And Seals-Jones was definitely on my tight end list, so we'll see how that works out. It will be interesting to see how Dallas runs their defense this week with the ugly baby back. Micah Parsons isn't going to be coming off the end, so you got DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, and Micah Parsons. Micah could end up just roving the field. They could just take the leash off and say, just go get them. So we'll see how that affects the passing across the middle of the field and whether or not Seals-Jones can be effective. So
why don't y'all just put him at defensive end or edge rusher and just let him rush the court? Why don't y'all just put him at like edge rusher or defensive end and just let him go after the quarterback?
Because we got Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence. You got those two coming off the edge.
But Mike,
and you give Parsons a free pass to just go get the quarterback. I mean, that would scare me if I was out there. I don't know about you guys. But yeah,
that sounds like a good plan for the other teams in the NFC East, not Washington. Go ahead. we shall Dallas.
All right, that's what we got.
I can dig it. Bobby, what you think, man? You got anything? Up.
I think you muted, Bobby.
You mute, Bobby.
Here we go. You got me?
There we go.
Okay. They basically touched on everybody I was thinking, mainly KJ Osborne and Ricky Seals-Jones. With Thielen out, KJ caught a touchdown last week, and Seals-Jones should be coming back at the perfect time, unfortunately at Logan Thomas's expense, but, it's football. Things happen, and, you'll get an opportunity. And Dallas isn't very good against tight ends, so I think they should be all right. Other than that, I mean, you have to really dig deep. There really isn't anybody out there that I can think of that would really have an impact outside of the guys you already said. So that's pretty much all I got.
You rocking that gear actually reminded me. I saw Devontae Parker was back. You think he's going to be anything in fantasy relevance?
It's possible. I mean, he caught 5 balls out of 5 targets last week.
Huh.
So he'll be in there. I mean, Gesicki and Waddle are still going to be the heavily targeted guys. But outside of those two, Gaskin might get some if they need to. But, yeah, then it'll be Devontae for sure.
Yeah, I remember he was very touchdown reliant last year. You know what I mean? So
he's just got to stay on the field too.
Well, right.
Yeah.
As far as that Washington conversation, Seals-Jones for sure. If he, I know he is still kind of a little injured. If he doesn't, John Bates at Boise State, our tight end, is a rookie. We just picked him up this year in like the 5th round. He's not very fast. He has no degree of separation, but he's very sure-handed. Guy gets his hand on balls, and recently he's been getting a lot more targets coming out, rolling out and all that play action that we do. So watch for him. He's not going to – I'm not even think he's got a touchdown this year, but he's getting 4 receptions, 5 or 6 targets. He's getting a lot more attention. So, it could be beneficial. I mean, you got to go deep for that if you really are desperate for a tight end. But it could potentially be something for sure. Yo, let us move on. I got a couple questions I'm seeing here. Before we do that, Bobby, we're going to keep you on here.